Are you confused about writing? Do you not know where to start or even how to finish? Do you love writing so much that it burns deep in your soul, but you still don't know how to meet your goals? Are you looking for a little inspiration that will take you on a writer's vacation? Then let us all write together. Let us all write our way. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Write Our Way. I'm your host, Patrick Starks. And you know it, we're back again. It's been a while. Today, we're going to talk about a very special topic. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that has been driving me nuts lately, and that is book completion. And my friends, the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because books are not as easy as they seem. A lot of authors out there try to make it seem like it's very easy to write a book, but it's not as easy as it seems. And let's be honest, a lot of the people that have these biography books, like these celebrities and these athletes, they're not writing the books themselves. They're giving kind of like an in-person interview, and the writer actually writes it out themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and nip that in the bud and say a lot of people avoid writing books and try to get other writers like me and yourself to write them. But even for us, as you know, it can still be a headache. I mean, we all know the feeling, right? The feeling of having this great idea and always feeling stuck on it. You want to get it out so bad. You want people to read it so bad and tell you how good it is. But for whatever reason, you keep being stuck on it. You can't move through it in order to get it out to people. And that can be one of the most frustrating things as a writer, is having something so beautiful in your head that you still cannot present to people. So the biggest question to this is, how do we get past this? How do we get our books out for people to read? And well, my friends, the simple answer to that question is to literally drop everything. And what I mean by that is letting go of all the distractions that are going on in your life right now, as far as your favorite TV series or your favorite video game or anything like that. You really just got to drop those things and focus on the priority, that of which is your book. Now, I know for some of you, it might not be what I just said. It could be other projects, and that is usually the case for me. It's just a galore of projects and ideas that I have, because I'm just a huge book of ideas, and I got to get them out. And I feel like if I'm not working on them, they slip away, but that's on me. I just need to write them down so I don't forget. But that's as well as something I'm working on. I highly recommend you guys do the same if you're dealing with the same struggle as me. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say, well, that's easier said than done, Patrick. I can't just necessarily drop everything. But do not tell me that. You most certainly can drop it. It's more of a need or a want situation, and for your book's sake, is absolutely a need. I think for this, it's important not to pressure yourself, right? We don't all need to be necessarily like the writers that we idolize. We don't need to be able to write a book in a month, or, I think Sylvester Stallone, when he wrote Rocky, he wrote that in like a day, which was crazy. They said he crammed himself in his apartment and wrote it in a full day, which is something I couldn't even fathom, but he pulled it off. And that's an incredible talent to have if you have it. But if you don't, there's another way around it, and it's called just blocking it out. You have to just take it step by step each day. Block out each chapter. I think the most important thing is to get all your chapters out of the way in your book. Get the beginning, the middle, and the ending done. Once you get the beginning, middle, and ending done, then you're set. At that point, it's all about editing and really connecting the dots, making sure everything makes sense. A lot of the times you can use this, start off with an outline at least to get this flow going. Now, I know everyone's not an outline person. I'm definitely not. I have a bad habit of it. I've been like that since I was in school. Never really grew out of it. I just don't care much for outlines. I just kind of like to get straight to the point. I know for some people the outline's very important as a guide, but for me, I just kind of like to have that mental guide in my head. I think it's like I already have a mental outline in my head. It's just I am allowing too many other projects again to distract myself. So, but if outline works for you, absolutely, please use an outline. But just going back to the part where I was talking about pressuring yourself, you don't necessarily want to pressure yourself and try to finish the book in a day like Mr. Stallone, aka Sly. You want to set your own type of schedule, and usually that schedule is going to be whatever you're comfortable with. Some people can say within a year, 2 years. But I usually try to keep it short. I know for this book that I'm writing now, I'm trying to limit it to like 3 months so I can have this responsibility held over me to finish it. And if I don't, then I'm gonna feel like crap, obviously. But yeah, definitely you want to set a deadline where you're gonna feel like you have some responsibility, like you have a duty to finish it. Because let's be honest, the longer you push it out, the more you're gonna be lazy about it and carefree about it, and like, oh, I'll get to it later, and or be like, you'll get to it tomorrow. But as Apollo Creed told Rocky, there is no tomorrow. So that's what we don't want, right? Again, we want to get these books out. We want to get these great ideas, these great stories that we have in people's hands, so they can enjoy it just as we do every day. Now, just to go along with this, writing can be sometimes like working out. You don't want to burn yourself out. A lot of people, when they say they want to lose weight, they say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times out the week. And they do it for about a good month, and then they stop because they burn themselves out instead of having this nice, good flow that they feel comfortable with that gets them losing weight, but also where they're not feel like their arms and legs are falling off. Writing is the same equivalence to that. It's like if you're going to write your book, you also want to take breaks in between. Maybe you write something else, switch to a different book that you're working on or a different short story that you're working on. Just take a break from it, because sometimes when you're immersed in it for so long, I've noticed that you again tend to get lazy with your words and your creativity. And sometimes it's good to take a break, get out, walk around, and get some inspiration, some motivation to write again. And that usually stems from walking away from our projects sometimes. And the reason I say this is because this can be one of the main reasons why we kind of forget where we are in a story, because we've been kind of lingering around one part of the story for too long. And so it's very important that we take a break, maybe come back to that part of the story that we left off, but move on. And again, if you need an outline to keep you on the right track, I still highly recommend you stick with using your outline. And so another thing I'd like to add about the book completion is, what characters we should be focusing on. A lot of times we tend to have so many characters in our stories that we tend to linger away from the actual main character, or, as we say, the hero or the protagonist. And we also kind of get away from the villain, the antagonist. And this can kind of be, well, not kind of, this is really bad, because if you're focusing so much on all the supporting characters, you kind of lose vision, and you kind of lose the roadway of where the story is actually intended to go. And so this is what we don't want, right? We want to lead our readers to the right pathway. We want to show them that there is some intention, there is a meaning behind the story. We're not just rambling on words. I mean, trust me, I can give you all the pretty sentences you want in a story all day, every day, but it really doesn't mean anything unless you actually have some meaning behind your story. It's like having a birthday cake that has these crazy decorations on it. It looks awesome. Coolest birthday cake you could ever see, but the minute you take a bite out of it, it just tastes disgusting. And that's kind of what it feels like when you write a bunch of pretty sentences and there's no actual like vision to the story at all. There's no intention behind it. And I would say, keep it short and sweet. A lot of times when I started writing in the beginning, I had this knack for just having these like fancy words, like big words, or words that you really didn't need to put in the story. Because we're not writing for scholars here. We're writing for, your average Joe people that just want to read something and be entertained, and, maybe read something to their children if you write children's books. But yeah, and definitely if you're writing children's book, oh God, don't put any big words in there. It's just ridiculous. You never make it. But for the YA books, the young adult books, and other books out there, don't feel like you need to really, show your sense of intelligence by putting the big words up. Like, you don't really need to do that. I've seen some of the greatest books be the most simplistic, and I think that's kind of the way it goes. It's the more simplistic it is, and the more straight to the point it is, the more successful it will be. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some people out there that really like their books that have riddles in them, and they like to like solve the puzzle to what's going on in the book, and that's cool. But I'll be honest, that's a very small group of people out of the entire population that reads books. Most people don't want to feel like they're going to school and they're reading a book. They want to do that, they'll go get an actual, like, educational book. They'll go to the educational section. But we're talking about fiction here, guys. So if you're writing fiction, it's one of those things you definitely want to make sure that you're focusing on the whole aspect of fiction. It's to, entertain. Some of it is reality, but most of it is imagination. And so we can't put this educational twist on it unless you're very, how should I say, if you're very sneaky about it. You can definitely add it in there and be sneaky about it, but you can only go so far with it before people are like, okay, I feel like I'm being lectured here, and that's what you don't want. But all in all, everyone, I think you all got the point. You get the point of what this whole meaning behind book completion is. It really takes you to really just sit down and focus on the important things. Focus on the main character, focus on the villain, focus on the actual focus on the beginning, middle, and ending, and really just connect the dots and not focus too much in one spot of the book, or focus on your supporting characters too much, or have other projects that you're being distracted with. And also, we can't forget, give yourself a break. I think it's easy to forget when we work so hard on something that we forget to reward ourselves. Not a lot of people do what we do, and not a lot of people, work on anything in life. A lot of people, I'm going to go ahead and say it, they just go home, watch TV, they don't do much. And when you're working so hard towards something that you believe in and your dreams, you should be rewarding yourself. Definitely, you should give yourself time to watch a show or go out and eat your favorite food. Mine's pho, pizza, Italian food. I like a lot of food. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a food junkie, but that's besides the point. The point is that you work your butt off and you deserve to treat yourself. So treat yourself, but remember to come back to the work once it's all done. But guys, I love you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you guys as always. It's been a while since I spoke with you guys, so it's good to speak with you again. Stay tuned for the next episode. I'm going to say it. Become a child again. Imagine, my friends. And I'll see you again. All right, guys, keep writing. Love you.